Good morning, everybody. Good morning. There's Vanessa, one of our newest. And well, here, you know what? For those who can, let's go through and just do a quick introduction for ourselves. Who's going to start? Well, Rebecca, you're not on, so I'll let you go. You got yourself off of mute already.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. My name's Rebecca Cherry. I'm doing a little slower paced speed board, but I met Darwin and Brenda last year, I think November.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm starting to ramp it up a little bit more, and I'm glad to be here today.
Awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to go across with what I got you guys set up with. So Kelly, you can go next.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Holtz. I transferred over to Century 21 from eXp Realty last week. And yeah.
There we go. And both these guys are with me here in Rochester. And let's see. So I'll go to Vanessa. We'll have you go next.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I just started just very recently, and I'm also a new agent in general, and I'm here in Lake Orion.
Awesome. Awesome. And welcome, Francesco.
Hi, my name is Francesco Caruso. I started about yesterday, actually. This is my second day. So kind of getting into it.
Really getting your feet wet, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And, you know, Jen, she's already mentioned she's going to be on camera here shortly.
Hi, I can say hi.
There you go.
I'm heading out the door to go do some showing. So I'm just trying to get myself together. But my name's Jen. I've been with Century 21 just over a year, and I more recently graduated the mentor program and have become a mentor myself. So yeah, and I'm in Clinton Township, if I didn't say that.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Connor, if you're available, bud, let's just do a quick introduction. Connor's been with us before. Or Ariel. I love it when the mics won't work. All right. Well, hey, so let's go with who we've got here for right now. And guys, that so many of you are really new, it works out fairly well for you. Typically, we would start out with share us some of the good news. And, you know, if anybody can, I know, Kelly, you might have something that, you know, you could share that's good news. And if anybody else, guys, we just jump in and we do a share. But Kelly, you got anything you could share that's good news since you've been with us now for a whole week?
Yeah, so I recently signed a leasing client. We're working on getting their application into the listing agent. Hopefully we can do that tomorrow. And then I'm putting in a bid on a HUD home today for a buyer client of mine.
Good stuff. And then actually, even from an aspect of a listing perspective, what are the potentials that you've got already in the first week here?
So yesterday I was prospecting, and there's a potential for sale by owner who wants to hopefully list sometime soon. So I'll be following up with her. And then I had got a lead from my junk removal company that I own that I keep following up on, and hopefully I'll have a listing appointment here in the next month. Yeah.
So, you know, you probably heard, you know, talk to everybody. Everybody's a prospect. And until we ask, we just don't know. So it's one of the things that Kelly's been doing is following up with some of her former jobs from the junk removal and just saying, hey, what are you, matter of fact, Kelly, what are you saying when you call those individuals?
You know, right now I'm calling them and just kind of first going with like, how have you been? We we haven't heard from you in a while with Junk Cow. We're offering a discount for our past customers. And then I'm saying, oh, by the way, I just recently transferred over to Century 21. I'm reaching out to past customers of mine and letting them know. Do you have anybody in the area, or do you know anyone who would like to buy or sell sometime soon? Just a script, actually.
Yeah,
that you provided.
and, you know, the interesting part is that I'm calling for a couple of reasons. So it's,
Yep.
hi, this is, I'm calling for a couple of reasons, of which we know, guys, if that's your sphere of influence call, which is really what this is for Kelly, it's a sphere of influence call. So I'm calling for a couple of reasons. One, we haven't heard from you for a while in regard to, and oh, by the way, and of course, did anybody catch anything? We'll see how good anybody might be. If we tweaked a little bit of, Kelly, what you asked. Do you know
I
what it
know.
would be? Do you
I think
know?
I know.
Let's see.
You said, do you know, can I have a name? I think you said, do you know,
Yeah.
instead of, you asked for a name versus just saying, hey,
No.
let someone know that I'm.
Yeah, that's a real good key. So the great part is do you know? But if we twist it just a wee bit to make that improvement, who do you know? So ask assumptively, and so for all of us, this is a really great one. Probably one of the biggest keys that I'm pretty likely that you'll hear again, because if we ever role play, if we ever discuss, we have a tendency, do you know of anyone?
Yeah.
The drawback to that is, it's what we refer to as a reflexive response. It doesn't require any thought because we asked a question which has a simple answer. It's either yes or no. Now, we do want to use those yes, no questions, but we want to use them at the appropriate time. So that's where it will be well, who would you know? Because that requires the mind to begin thinking. So good stuff. Great share, Kelly. Who else? Ariel, you've been in with us now for a while. By the way, introduce everybody if you can real quick and tell them which office you're with.
Hi, my name is Ariel St. Major. I'm a Coldwell Banker in Port Huron. I joined like late December, but I didn't actually start till like mid-January. But I also work another full-time job. So I've been a pretty busy lady the last couple weeks. I put a listing up end of March that went pending within, it was less than a week. And then we put an offer on a house for her that's now pending. And then I also have an appointment coming up in the next week for another listing that's also going to be buying. And like 2 other people that I'm trying to get the ball rolling for as far as buying. So been
Awesome.
pretty busy.
Awesome. So, you know, I think it's a great one because, you know, Rebecca's similar in regards to her story. She actually, we got her onboarded back at the end of November, but I should say, we're really just getting her started. Now here, probably what, about 2 weeks ago, maybe was, I think, the first time that we met to kind of get her rolling. So with your job, what is your full-time job? What do you do right now?
I am a delivery driver / sales rep for Frito-Lay.
What hours do you run that route with?
I don't really have a shift, but I typically start around 4 a.m. and I'm done between like noon and 2. But when I'm done, I'm done. So it kind of varies. But with that, it's flexible too. If I have something going on, I can kind of stop what I'm doing and pick up tomorrow.
Good
So
for
it's
you.
nice.
Good for you. So let's do a share. You've had these successes. What's that coming from?
Mostly just my sphere, really. I stay pretty active on my Facebook. So I get a lot of questions, and then just really brunches with my girlfriends. The more I remind them that I'm in real estate, they're like, oh, here's my sister. Oh, like I should have called you, like stuff like that. So just, yeah, really just reminding everyone that, hey, I'm in real estate, give me a call. People that I work with too, just having that conversation. I actually had I had a Coldwell Banker hoodie made up with my name on the back of it and my phone number. So yeah, just having the conversation really.
So you're always working.
Yes.
I'll tell you, and it's great. I love that this is coming from you guys, because you'll always hear me say, and Jen knows, real estate's real easy. It just requires a lot of hard work. And if we talk to enough people, things will begin to just fall, or maybe I should say we get lucky. And the more people we talk to, the luckier we get. What would you add to that, Jen?
Yeah. So let's just throw out Hard Knocks. Recently we did Hard Knocks and I called someone that I met at an open house last April. And I've been sending him houses intermittently since then. Nothing's really grabbed his attention. He didn't answer my call at Hard Knocks, but he called me a week later and just said, I'm ready to list my house. And so we just got the clear to close yesterday, and we've been hunting for his purchase. And I'm heading to showings right now for him. So put some good juju in the air, but so we can time that up. But that just goes to show you, one, an open house. I've closed, most of my sales are from open houses, but I enjoy that. And then door knocking comes with it. To add to that, I had one of his neighbors call me that got one of my postcards, and I told her I'm coming by to knock the neighborhood and I'll come meet her. So that was another opportunity there. But yeah, so
Jen, was that you're saying knocking on doors? Was that around the open house or getting
for my
his house
listing?
listed?
Yeah, usually I try to either invite them to an open house. He didn't want to do one. But this time when we are getting ready to close, I'm going to go tell the neighbors, like, we're closing. We got, multiple offers. We were off the market in 48 hours. So I'll try and rub elbows that way. But they reached out to me just based on my postcards and seeing the activity. So yeah, those are, both Hard Knocks and open houses were two great reasons, that helped me get that sale.
Wow. So, there's a great share, guys, and it was pick up the phone and talk to people. And yes, good agents will go out and knock on doors. You may not have ever experienced it, but we can do what everyone else is doing and get what everyone else is getting, which is next to no income. Or we can do what the few are doing and make a lot of money. And if you go, well, yeah, but come on, who really? Kyle Matta, 22 million the previous year, 16 plus million this year in production out of the Rochester office. It was interesting when I first met Kyle, he talked about going out and knocking on doors. And I'm going, wait a minute, you're knocking on doors? In downtown Rochester. So where the money's at, he was knocking on doors of $500,000-$600,000 homes. Another one of those where, no, yeah, you can't do that. He was doing it. And oh, by the way, it was in December and January. Because everybody, well, you can't knock on doors in the winter. Kyle Matta, 22 million the year before, 16 million this past year. Knocking on doors, high price ranges, downtown Rochester, December and January. So yes, people do these things, and it's people that are making money. And so yes, let's hold open houses. Again, a great share. Where else am I going to be able to find my way to be able to talk to people? Yes, go knock on doors, or what we call circle prospecting, and that's what Jen is talking about. We can do that when we take a listing. We can do that when we hold an open house. We can do that even before we close. We can do that after we close. because it's just a great reason to go out and share the news and talk with people. It just requires hard work. And by the way, when we do this kind of stuff, it's a little uncomfortable with people we don't even know, and sometimes with those that we do know. And the answer is yes, I know that. But guess what's on the other side of uncomfortable? Huge levels of success. So for those of you that are really brand new, I'll tell you, Jen, great share. Thank you. Ariel, wonderful example of what will happen if we simply talk with people. And of course, Kelly's already on the roll with us here in what she's got and what we're doing. Let me then shift to, I know that you guys are new. So there's not a bad answer to this. There's no minute answer to this. All answers are good. So here's the question. What do you need help with? Is it, and by the way, when I ask that question, is it direct from me? Is it from your mentor, your manager? This is kind of the open discussion where I can help either today facilitate some additional assistance, or you guys and best helping each other. So what do you need help with?
I
I'm
will.
getting
For me, okay.
Sorry. Real quick. Okay, so I gave you a little bit about my background because I'm doing this speedboard thing a little slower and it's a bit all over the place, but I've been having issues where I can't move forward because then I don't have an MLS number and then I can't do something. And so I finally got the MLS number membership this week. It finally, like those things, and then clear me for like doing something else. But I think I'm trying to watch all the videos and this and that, and then doing some of that, is it the remind edit?
Remind, yeah,
Yeah.
remind, yep.
So it's more of a question where if someone came up to me right now in the sphere that I've talked to and they go, yeah, I want a list right now. And I feel like inside I would freeze because I haven't even done like even those mock listings, right? So what would happen? I mean, if that happened, do I reach right out to you, Darwin? Because I don't, like, what would happen? Can you just walk me through, like, this is, you have nothing to worry about, Beck. This is what happens.
And thank you for being open, because it right here, it's on this guy. And yet this, so it's a great question. So if you guys find yourself in any situation similar to what Rebecca just brought up, talk to your manager, okay? Because really you're directly responsible for your success, but that's where you've got to get us involved. So Rebecca, the short answer would be, one, you and I need to get together and set our once a week meeting so that we've got that going for you. When you said that, I'm going, yep, she's not in my calendar yet. We didn't set that. So we want to make sure. And by the way, for the rest of you, all of you should have that once a week where you have 30 minutes set up to meet with your manager. And this is to, I like to call it a coaching and accountability. It's accountability to where you want to go. It's accountability, making sure that we're taking you in the direction that you want to go, in the time that you want to go. And that's where with Rebecca, she's a transition agent. And so anyway, that's the explanation of that. So you and I need to get together, and the rest of you, I want to make sure that you have that time set once a week, that's in your schedule. Matter of fact, do this if that's set up for you already. Okay, Ariel, great. Vanessa, got one yet with either John or Deb?
I meet with my manager. I don't think we spend 30 minutes, but I'm in,
Okay.
I go into the
But you've got
office.
that one set time that you meet weekly every week.
Yeah, we're checking in and I do floor time scheduling. So I'm there and I
Okay,
can just,
great.
yeah, that
Great.
part, we're good.
And Kenyana, I know you've got it, and Francesco, I dare say you're probably going to get that set up if you don't already with Luigi. So, all right, so that's the first part of that question, Rebecca. The second part, really, it's for all of you, because if I'm new, and you know, Kelly's been through it, Ariel, you've been through it, obviously, but for Rebecca, Vanessa, Francesco, you guys, we have mentors. And Rebecca, I think we've got to, that'll be the other reason that you and I meet. We've got to get you set so that you have that person. So here becomes a situation. As we should all know, we should have talked to everybody that we came up on the list in our sphere of influence. Or we want to make sure that we're talking to them. Francesco, literally, you could start what I always say, 10% a day. So if you got right now 100 people on that list, and I'm going to say is 100 people, then you got to talk to 10 of people in your sphere of influence every day. If, you know, Vanessa, you came up and you had 150 already into the list, then it would be talk to 15 every day. That's that 10% of your sphere of influence that is in Speedboard. The reason for that, and Ariel, you kind of dropped it on in there, is, oh, gee, I should have called you. If you haven't heard it yet, you will. You're going to be talking with someone and they're going to go, gee, I wish I'd have known we just listed, we just bought. So that's the reason that in Speedboard for income producing activity, the first income producing activity we have is talk to your sphere of influence. And it's done so that within 10 working days, you will have talked to everybody you know. Now, what's one of the things that holds us back? The fear of somebody saying yes. Because then it's, well, wait a minute, I don't even know what to do if somebody said yes. Well, here's the simple answer. We should all have now a mentor assigned to us, such as a Jen, who will go with us on our appointments. So you could literally know nothing and go take a listing. Now, I'll share, it's my story way back when. And so I'm going to remind everybody that has heard this story. And for those of you who have not heard it, here's the short version to it. I started out in real estate back in 1987. There was no technology. It took forever to get your license. And I'm not just talking the 40 hours, but you had to do the 40 hours, take the test, wait to find out if you passed about 2 weeks. And then if you found out that you did pass, then it would take about another 6 weeks to get your license. So there was months to get your license, even when it was quick. So I said, Bernie, what can I do? He said, well, come on in, I'll teach you how to fill out the paperwork. I said, well, there's got to be something else I could do too. He says, well, yeah, just as you're talking with everybody, let them know you're getting into real estate. So, and I dare say all of us, as we had our exciting news, we were telling everybody we're getting into real estate. We were getting a real estate license. Well, I had a former employee of mine that said, well, hey, that's great. You know, we're going to sell our house. And I'm like, cool. She says, why don't, and by the way, this is how easy it was. Why don't you call me when you get your license? I didn't even have to ask. So here's what I knew when I got my license. All I knew about selling was what we learned in real estate class to be able to pass the exam, which has nothing to do with selling. And because I got with Bernie prior to, Bernie taught me how to fill out all the paperwork. So I get my license, I call Sharon. Sharon, I got my license, do you still want to sell? She said, yes. Look, I don't know anything, I got no skills. So I said, well, when do you want to get together? She says, why don't you come over Saturday? I go, okay. I take a package of paperwork because it was all use this thing. I knew what went in the blanks. So I said, how much do you want to list it for? She said 18,900. I write it in the blank. This was, remember how long ago that was, in Muskegon. 18,900. I start going through all the other stuff because I knew what was going in those blanks. I said, do you want me to cover this by detail or just give you the cliff notes? She said, just give me the cliff notes. I did. I said, you got any questions? And I hand her the pen. And she signed. And then she signed all the other stuff that you had to have at the time period. How hard was that? So what I want you to know is all we really need to know, if we keep it simple, what goes in the blanks. Okay, so that's the first part of how easy it really is. If we don't overcomplicate it, that is. Well, all right, so I get my license. About 2 to 3 days later, I have my first listing. And what did I know about selling real estate? So I take the package back. I say, Bernie, I got that listing I was telling you about. What do I do now? He said, go throw it in on Lynn's desk. She'll take care of everything. I said, no, I'm not that part of it, but now I have this listing. What do I do? I'm supposed to market this property. He says, oh, well, listen, they got neighbors. I want you to go up, knock on their doors, point at the house, tell them you're out marketing, trying to find a buyer for it. And do they know of anyone? Now, by the way, that was pretty much how quick my training was on how to do that. As I put it on Forrest Gump, I said, okay, Bernie. And I go out and I knock on doors. I point at the house. Hi, my name's Darwin with Century 21 Lumbertown. The reason I stopped by today is because we just started put that house on the market. I'm trying to find a buyer for it. Do you know of anybody want to move into the neighborhood? What response did I get? And why? What response did I get from all of the people that I was talking to? This is where you take yourself off hold. This is engage.
They already trusted you.
Do you know of it? So I go, so Rebecca, do you know of anybody who would want to move into the neighborhood, maybe buy that house? What do I get? Reflexive response.
Right.
No. Look, there's a salesperson who just came and knocked on their door uninvited. Guys, this is our mentality, isn't it? We know that's what we're doing. And then we ask a question because that is probably the way that they're thinking. No. Oh, okay. Thanks. And I go to the next door. Now, by hearing it, you pretty much know I wasn't doing a very good job, was I? I had no training, no verbiage, no script, no skills, no understanding of closing. All I knew was what went in the blanks. So I'm coming back up the other side of the street. There's a gentleman out on the sidewalk. I said, hi, my name's Darwin, Century 21 Lumbertown. Got that house on the market. You don't know anybody want to buy that, do you? I was pretty much in such a mentality at that point that I'm telling them they don't know of anybody. Right? So it's like, do you know if anybody want to buy that? I'm still doing it wrong, obviously, because I don't know anybody. He says, well, no, don't know of anybody. Well, I appreciate it. Here's my card. If you can think of somebody, I'd appreciate a call. I didn't know what else to say. He says, well, wait a minute. I'm going to have to sell this house. Of course, now you perk back up again, right? This is kind of exciting. Well, can I help? Well, not right now. It's my mother-in-law's house. She's not doing well. Probably won't be anything until fall. So, okay, well, you've got my card. I'd love to be able to help if I could. Give me a call. Well, wait a minute, he says. I got to sell my house. My great closing question, can I help? He said, yes. 2 days later, I took my second listing. By the way, I didn't have a mentor. I still didn't know what I was doing. The only thing I really knew was how to fill in the blanks. Now, the reason I give you that shortened version of the story is because, guys, all we have to do is go talk to people. We don't need to know everything. We just got to know how to talk to people. And the benefit that we've got for you now at Century 21 and Coldwell Banker are mentors. And here's the beauty to your mentor. They know what you don't. They've built skills. They've, if you will, they had their head knocked in and beat up aside and got the bruises and the scrapes and the bumps. So they've been through that. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to get you listings that you wouldn't otherwise get, but you've got to have them come with you on your listing appointments. They will get you better price listings that will sell quicker because they've been trained and gone through the experience. So that's kind of a long answer to a really great question that all of us really have a little bit of concern about. So here's the thing.
Darwin, can I just add to that?
Remove the fear of the yes, because you'll find a way. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, one thing that I relied on when I was working with my mentor, and I was just as nervous to be put in a position of not to know what to do next. I called my mentor my partner. You know, they've partnered into all of my deals. And I'll tell someone that's very different than a team. These are the only two people you'll ever talk to. And then I also say, I rely on my broker. I run everything by my broker. I use every resource I can, but I refer to her as my partner. And it makes it look very even. And I'll combine our years of experience too. Between the two of us, we've got this. Or at my office, we have hundreds of years of, or not hundreds, but you know what I mean.
Well, you do have 100 years.
I guess if you add them all together. Yeah. So, yep.
Some people have even used it this way. And I love the partner, and others have used that. I've hired a coach. Because are you the one compensating them? So you have hired a coach. So that way it's not, I'm a mentor and or mentee and that's my mentor. This is my trainer. I'm new. Nope. We're just coming right out and saying, I personally hired a coach and I've asked them to accompany me on our appointment. Just want to let you know they're coming. I've got a partner in my business right now. Her name is Jen Clancy. She's going to be coming along with us. By the way, she's going to be working together with me throughout this transaction, just so you know, you've got the two of us. It's great verbiage, and both are true statements in what you're doing to make sure that you can elevate your business and provide the highest level of service to the customer. So great one, great input. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Vanessa, you had one also that, hey, here's a question or where I could use some help. Something you might have had a question on. What was that? Do you remember?
I'm getting it worked out. I'm new to the area. We moved down here this summer from the UP, so my sphere is not here. I'm sorry, yeah. My dog is very unhappy, so I'm staying muted. So the people I know are either in Upper Michigan or over in Wisconsin. So I'm not having lived here but a few months. I'm trying to get a sphere. So yes. I'm working with some people to kind of get a list of names. But I like what you said about knocking on doors, because you can go out and do that. I'll just have to talk to my mentor about where to go, like what's a good neighborhood to start on and stuff. So that I kind of just got that out of the last section of this. So.
Yeah. Right. All right. Good. So I'll tell you, by the way, with what you just threw out there, Vanessa, I would throw this. Yes, there are bad neighborhoods, but typically when you drive into it, you'll know. So what's the best neighborhood to knock doors on? One where you feel comfortable and where you would want to take a listing at. So up by you, Oxford's got Waterstone. Lake Orion, you got all kind, you know, as a matter of fact, I've done this way back when in some of my training coaching days. I went to an office or a number of offices and I'd say, okay, guys, here's the way you do this. And then I said, let's go jump in the car. You drive to some neighborhood and we're going to go knock on doors. I know nothing about where they're driving, where they're going, but here's what I did. And I use this one the most because it was just the most fun and the most interesting. But this was back in the day with Century 21 Mech out in the Heartland Highland area. They drove basically just about a mile away across where the office was. We got out of the car, knocked on the door. They stood behind me. And I said, when's the last time you had 3 real estate agents knocking on your door? They smile, give a little snicker. Never. I say, well, listen, the whole reason we're out here, because did I give an introduction? Yep. I said, hi, we're 3 real estate agents. A little bit of an opener. When's the last time you had 3 real estate agents knocking on your door? If they smile and give a little giggle, you broke down the barrier that existed. I'd say, well, the whole reason we're out here is we know there's a home coming on the market. We're trying to find it. Is it you? Now, is there any one of us that couldn't make that statement? Think of any neighborhood, even the ones that Vanessa we don't know. You could go right behind the office and find one. You can make that statement. No, what do I want to say? No research necessary, and state, I know there's a home coming on the market. I'm trying to find it.
So just quick question. So when I said find a neighborhood, I meant, do you just randomly go to an area, or do you go to an area where there's a listing? Okay, you do.
Don't
just
do that while you're
randomly go
driving.
into an area. Okay.
Yeah, literally,
gonna ask.
Vanessa, just pick one where it's like, man, knowing what you already know within a few months, is there a neighborhood that it's like, this is a really nice neighborhood? I'd like to have a listing here.
Can I
Go
add
ahead,
to
knock
that?
on doors.
Hey, Vanessa, too, I think with what you're saying too, if it's authentic, if you have something to provide to them,
Mhm.
you know, so yes, if you saw a for sale by owner sign, hit that neighborhood, maybe go knock on that door, hit some around there. Hey, did that bring up any interest? Are you looking to sell? It's kind of tough to sell on your own. I thought I'd ask or whatever, but if it's an authentic purpose, you could run comps on that neighborhood ahead of time. The first neighborhood I picked was my son's elementary school neighborhood. We used that to trick or treat, and all of those kids walked to school. And then I also did some stuff in his school. So I had a purpose for that one. But yeah, if you see something and it is authentic, you have something to talk about, something to provide, you can
That
do
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
matter
a
of fact.
talking point. Otherwise, it's like,
What do you
I
bring?
would feel
me?
hung
What do-
up.
yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, and you are there you are to provide a service of some kind. You're offering a service, but maybe what can you give kind of to, hey, did you know 3 homes sold in the last 30 days in your neighborhood? I don't know, just something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's,
Thank you.
I'll give you a process and it comes up later. Well, no, that's fairly early. One of the videos that we put into Speedboard is really just about making contact. And there's a basic process that you follow. So why don't you write this down real quick, even if I'd ask Jen, do you know where I'm going? What the process is for prospect?
No, that's why I grabbed my pen.
All right. Because you're going to know it when I say it because
Oh,
you
okay.
just said it.
Oh,
But if you break it down to where it's really a process, it starts with introduction. Hi, my name is. Then it can be I'm with. It could be I am a local realtor. It's an introduction. Okay, here's who I am. Then you could go with number 2, the reason. The reason I stopped by today is, the reason I'm calling today is. Okay, and this is what Jen was talking about, is have what was the word you used? A
I
genuine?
just said be authentic, like have
Be
a purpose.
authentic. Have a real reason that you're out there. Know why you are out there. One, it's going to make you feel better about it. You're going to be more confident about it. It gives you the reason to go talk to somebody. And I would add to it, if the reason can bring value, give them something that they would find valuable. Like what Jen was talking about, just neighborhood information. Mine, with my first listing, I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I was giving all the neighbors really the information they wanted to know anyway. Only now it would be that, hi, my name's Darwin. I happen to be the realtor who has that home listed across the street. Are you familiar with that? Well, yeah, then it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's got a full finished basement. That's actually on a 1-acre lot. But they're asking $350,000 for that. I just wanted to know, who would you know? Which is the next part. It's identify if they're a prospect, number 3, and number 4, are they well, let me rephrase. Identify if they're a prospect. Who do they know that's a prospect? Otherwise, ask for a referral for prospects. And then we close. Now, most of the time, we're going to get, in simplest terms, no. In which case, move on to the next door. Okay. So Jen brought up a great one where it's absolutely that. Go out with a genuine and authentic reason to be able to go out and knock on doors. Hers was, we've already got that home sold. We had the good news, however, by the way, is although it's sold, we still have more people who want to move into your neighborhood. So I'm out trying to find the next individual who's going to move. Would it be you? Identified. Well, I appreciate you letting me know that. I'm just curious, which one of your neighbors would be moving next? Ask assumptively if they would know. And oh, by the way, literally physically turn and go, which one of your neighbors would be moving next? Because then, because you're non-threatening, they'll even open the door finally, step out on the porch and actually start pointing. It doesn't happen at every door. But if you knock on enough of them, somebody will tell you who's going to be moving. Okay.
Hey, Darwin,
but it's that basic 5-step process. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going to leave, but
Oh, you're good.
Leave with this. And just a couple other ideas for knocking on doors. If you're holding an open house, maybe if it's your listing, you can, I've held a neighbor's open house ahead of, like, right in front of my regular public open house, and just invited them over and said, we can talk about the neighborhood, talk about comps, answer any questions you have. And I'll have like snacks and things like that for just them. And I'll hang a door hanger on there with the time of it and description. So to try and draw that interest. And then also I've knocked and like left goodies. One time it ended up raining that day. So I grabbed handheld soup cans, the ones you can sip. And I got tomato and chicken noodle, and I taped my card to it and wrote, have a super day. And I knocked doors when I was closing on a house, and I left those, and I had people call, why'd you leave this? And still talk to them. But I only had one person turn me down. They were vegan. They couldn't have either. But it's just a great talking point, and it was a pretty cost-effective thing to do. But just some more ideas, and I got to run, but I will see you guys on the next call. So
thanks, Jen. Appreciate all your help and input.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
So Vanessa, did that help out? Is to what to do?
Yes, thank you. Yep, thank you.
Great. Yeah, I think that's always the thing. And when I'm coaching my own, and we break into the aspect of, I'm going to cover up a name. I'm going to try. When we get into the 1-week business plan, and I'm looking at what we planned versus what we actually did. I don't want you guys to be normal. Normal is they're falling short of their own plan. They didn't put in the days, they didn't get in the hours, they didn't get in the number of conversations. They fell short of their own plan. And my question is always, what can I do to help you get that? Because often there's not a job that got in the way. There's not circumstances that got in the way. It is typically, I just didn't get it done. Okay. Now, there's a reason for why that may happen. And it could be just a simple mental block. What's getting in the way of you making the number or getting the number of conversations that you know you need to have? And by the way, not picking on Rebecca, but that's a reason why people won't call their sphere of influence. We're literally afraid that somebody would say yes. Okay. So then what do we do to be able to take care of that? And that's what I want you to always be open with your manager, your mentor, or when we come together on these calls. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I have a question. I've been hearing this whenever I say, hey, I just got into real estate, it's exciting. And they immediately say, oh, it's a terrible time to sell. It's just the worst time. Who would ever sell it? And I honestly don't know what to say to that. I mean, I believe it is an investment. It will come back. It's one of the best investments you can ever make, but I don't know. Things are changing so fast. And anyways, you get my point.
Yes.
I love a canned response that I don't have to ever hear. I will have an answer for them.
Well, one of the things that you'll always hear from me is it's a canned response, but I'm never going to say it the same way twice. All right. And the reason being is that if I role play it with you once, I'm going with the role play you gave me, the responses that you gave me. If I tried to do it a second time, you're probably going to give me different responses, which is going to lead me down a different road. So I think the key is to understand that one. Why do people feel it's a bad time to sell right now? Let open discussion, because this is a part to understand it. Why is it that so many people think it's a bad time to sell?
Housing shortage, interest rates, prices have gone up, but then that's our job to spin that in the right way. And it's not even spinning like we're lying. It's just laying out the facts correctly and educating them. That is what we are supposed to be doing.
You got it.
Educating them. And I don't know how to say it any plainer, just educating the public.
So,
and we're not even in sales, we're in education. That's really the way to do it.
I love the way you just put it. That's absolutely what we do. We need to educate people. We fix people's problems. And a way that we often have to do that is simply by educating so that they can make great and properly informed decisions. So I think what, Kelly, before you got any contribution on top of what Vanessa just threw out?
No, just the biggest objection I've been getting is interest rates and inventory.
Okay. So here's the thing. It's kind of funny that the reason that they think it's not a good time to sell is the reason that they should sell. Right? So I think the simple answer, the canned answer would be, give them the proper perspective, give them the proper information. And this is where, like, look at the MLS. The MLS will always throw out monthly statistics. Look at the information coming from real estate sources and not from the media, because the media wants to sensationalize everything. So our problem is the general public is getting, oh, it's bad. I mean, things are going to go in the crapper. Chinese people are going to invade America. Well, look, if that happens, we're in trouble, period. But I can't live my life with the rest of the way that the media is allowing everything to go. So we need to re-educate people and properly inform them so that they can make great decisions. So there's a process that I will tell you that regardless of what they say, you'll always have a response. And I learned it and still refer to it as a response pattern. And here's what that is. Repeat is the first one. Acknowledge, and then ask another question. Now you might acknowledge, repeat, and ask another question. So when somebody says, you know, right now it's such a terrible time to sell. I mean, the market sucks. And I say, well, that's interesting. There's your acknowledgement right up front. That's interesting. So you believe that right now is not a really good time to sell, and a part of that is because of interest rates? Wow. Tell me, is there anything else that has you going in that direction? That has you thinking that it's a bad time to sell? Otherwise, I'm inviting them to provide me with more information so I can know why they're thinking the way that they're thinking, so I know what to give them so that they can make a great decision. So they might throw a couple other things, but one of the directions I'm going is directly, one, to historically low inventory. You know, it's interesting you would say that, because right now is probably one of the greatest times to sell. And although all of the interest rates are higher than what has been, they're actually normal rates. Historically, we're dealing with normal interest rates. So if you take people now becoming accustomed to what is historically normal interest rates and historically low inventory, would it be a surprise to find out that we're actually still selling homes for more than what the asking price is, and that we have multiple offers? That's my response. So let me ask you, if you do sell your house, where would you go next? See, I didn't answer it, did I? I'm handling it in such a way that I can get the appointment, because I can't have them sign a contract until I have an appointment. I need to handle it well enough that I can ask for the appointment. So now I'm going to get them what's got them thinking and making that statement. Well, if you sold a house, what are you going to do? Well, we would, but well, if you knew that you could get a great price for your house and you buy another house for a great price, would it make sense to make that move now? Well, I don't know. Tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's get together. It's always going to be let's get together. Okay. So there's some good stuff that we put all together. Know that we do this every other Thursday. I haven't looked ahead yet to make sure, but I don't think anything is coming up. But let me just pull my calendar up to make sure that we're still good in 2 weeks, which is the 20th. So yes, we'll be back together again on the 20th. We'll kind of take the same thing. So this is never the same thing twice. And it's only as good as the input that you guys give for me to help, and what you can give to each other, and what you got with Sherry. Okay. So I've got to next jump on with your mentors. Is there anything else that we would want to address today? All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. It's hopefully, I hope this is a great investment of your time. I treasure the opportunity. It's what I do. It's what I love. And I need you to go out and take what you got and go make those contacts. Real estate is all about talking to people. And if anything's holding you back from talking to people, first thing I would tell you, feel the fear and do it anyway. And if that doesn't work, then give me a call. Talk with your manager, talk with your mentor. Help let them help you overcome whatever it may be that's holding you back from doing that one necessary thing that we've all got to do. All right.
Thank you.
You
Thank
got it,
you.
guys.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day, everyone.
All right.
Have a good
Talk to
day.
y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.